What's going on, everybody? It's your boy E-Man the Chosen here, and I'm back today with another video. So today I'm going to bring you guys my long-awaited Bonkcro build, the Necro Dswing PvP build for the Goldroad update. So let's talk about Necro for a little bit. So currently Necro is like one of the worst classes in the game. It's like god awful to play. I went through the ringer with different builds and different play styles, and it's been a real challenge. And shout out to the people who play this class and continue to try to push this class to be great. It is receiving a small little buff next patch, which I'll do a video covering it. But yeah, man, this class really sucks. It really pretty much at every fight you're in a disadvantage. The buffs don't last very long. The skills don't do a lot of damage, but through a lot of testing, through a lot of trial and error, I finally found a build that works for my Necro. This build, disclaimer, this build is 100% cheese. If you lose to this build, don't take it serious. I mean, it is 100% cheese, but it's Necro, right? Like, I feel like I can get away with a lot of stuff playing on Necro. So let's get straight into it. So getting to the stat sheet, I do have 17 points in the health, 47 points in the stam. My stats do go up when our sets are fully procced. These are our recoveries, fully procced. On Dswing Necro, you do need a lot of recovery. You see coming in at, I'm sitting at 2,900 stam recovery, 1,700 mag recovery, and mag recovery is a little bit higher on the back bar. I found for 1vx, you would need a crap ton of recovery on Necro, man, because Necro just does not have a lot of good sustain passives. We are using the Serpent Mundus Stone. I found that to be the best for 1vx and solo PvP. And we are a stage 3 vamp. Now, just for the undeath passives and the tankiness. Now, a lot of times I do run stage 4, as you'll see in the clips at the end, just for the reduced sprint speed cost and being able to go stealth when you're getting Zerg down. But we'll talk about that later. As far as the food we're using, we are using the Hismir Fish Eye Rye. I found this to be the best food for the Necro. It's basically giving you retro vitality and a food. It doesn't give you any max stats though, so you have to find your max. You have to fill out your max health and max stam by other means. But I love this food. It's really helped my recovery without having to run retro vitality or anything like that. You could go Jules Misrule or Smoke Bear Hunch, but you're just not going to have the same recovery. As far as our pots, we do use the regular tri-side pots as our main pots, and then sometimes we will use the stealth detection and move pots. You kind of need these in PvP nowadays. There's so many Nightblades out there trying to gank you. If you're not running these, you're just not gonna have a good time when you're fighting Nightblades. So, all right, getting straight into the sets. The first set we're using is Kin Marcher. Yes, so we have a sharpened Maul front bar with the Oblivion glyph. So Kin Marcher is one of the strongest sets on the Necro, in my opinion. So Necro is really good at debuffing a target. So Kin Marcher just really plays into that role. So basically, every 8 seconds, when you deal damage, you apply one of 5 random major debuffs. One of them being Major Breach, Major Cowardice, Major Defile, Major Maim, Major Vulnerability. This opens up a lot of bar space for us. Since Necro just has a problem with having bar space. You don't really have a lot of utility in the skills, so this opens a lot of bar space, so I don't have to run a breach. I mean, it's not super reliable source of major breach since it's RNG, but it does get the job done. And basically on Necro, you get a benefit out of every one of these debuffs: the major breach, the major cowardice, the major defile, the major main, the major vulnerability. Also, these debuffs apply to pretty much all the enemies that are in range, and you can have up to 3 of these debuffs on one person at a time. One of the strongest debuffs, in my opinion, on the Kin Marcher is actually the Major Cowardice. For those of you all who don't know what the Major Cowardice does, it reduces the opponent's weapon and spell damage by 400. This also applies to their heals too, which a lot of times healing applies to their weapon damage. So you can apply Major Defile for 18 seconds and apply the major cowardice for 18 seconds, it really, really reduces a lot of their heals. On top of having minor maim if they're not hitting you as hard, and major vulnerability and you hitting them harder. This also just plays into the Necro's tankiness. It helps the Necro be tanky. So if you're not running a set like Rallying Cry, this helps take care of that tankiness by debuffing the target, which everybody thinks the Necro is a tanky class. In my opinion, it really isn't. Like, you ever fought a Nightblade or a Mag Sork on a Necro? Like, they're like pushing your head in, man. It hurts. Even with the Necro, even with the Mender and the bone armor on, it hurts. But you can also further reduce their healing if you really want to be cheesed by using an infused weakening enchant. What I also like to do is actually use an infused oblivion damage glyph. It really helps cut through those Mag Sork shields and, you know, hit those opponent health bars, because healing is very, very high this patch, especially with the thriving shields. Healing is almost at an all-time high, so you really need to nerf and, you know, debuff the healing, which is really, really nice. Yeah. Getting into the second set we are using the Weird Tree. Oh my god, this is one of my favorite sets in the whole game, especially on the Necro. So basically, the 3 to 4 piece gives you magica recovery damage and more magic recovery, which is really nice for our max sustain. But then the 5 piece, so every time you use a magica ability, you remove all negative effects from you for every 15 seconds. So no matter what, like every 15 seconds, you pretty much get a free cleanse from using, just pretty much doing your buff rotation. And on Necro, your skills don't last very long, your buffs don't last very long, so you're already, you know, just passively doing that. So it's really nice. Every 15 seconds, you get pretty much a free cleanse, and this takes all effects off you. Like, it doesn't matter if someone else using Geral's on you, someone's got Ellie Sus on you, it takes it all off of you, everything. It's really nice on Crow, really helps our survivability. I've been testing this set in Rally and Cry, and I feel like this set was better than Rally and Cry. We are using 1 defending and a sturdy shield. And as far as our back bar, we are using double dot poisons. You could use Brutality Draining Poison or Escapist or, you know, Damage Health Poison. But I normally just do the double dot poisons. And yeah. Now, as far as our munches set, we are using the Gerals. Yeah, so this is where the cheese begins. So we're using Gerals on this build. I've been liking this set, and a lot of people have been, you know, saying the set's not good on Crow and it's not good in 1vx, but man, I've been able to X with this build, man. It's great. It's actually a lot better than Balorg, specifically for this build, because, you know, with Balorg, you could use Balorg here, but honestly, man, you're not killing people with burst on Crow, man. It's just not enough burst. You better off debuffing their healing and stuff like that. So, and I'll tell you how we keep the Geral stacks up on this build with the certain skills we're using. And for those of y'all who doesn't know what Geral's does, basically every time you deal damage, you can reduce their healing, and it stacks by up to 35%. And this is basically a special debuff where it's not like major defile or anything. It's just straight up debuff, and it can go up to 35%. Now, the only drawback of this set is it does nerf your own healing, so you get a debuff to yourself that cannot be cleansed by 15%. But through our sets and through a lot of our skills through scribing, we're able to negate this healing debuff to us. Now, you could 100% use Balorg here for the monster set, but I just found just Geral's just to be more reliable, especially with our skill setup and stuff like that, to kill people, because a lot of times, you know, with Geral's, like, you know, I'm literally just putting one skill on somebody and they're almost dead because they can't heal at all. Like, it's so crazy, and I'll show you all in the clips how this works. As far as our traits and weights of our armor, we are in 3 medium, 4 heavy. You could use 1 light waist or trainee. I have a medium waist trainee currently right now. We have 2 reinforced, right, big pieces, and then all in pin You don't need any other traits other than Impen, to be honest, on this build. You need all the Impen you can get, especially we don't have Rallying Cry, so you need as much crit resistance as you can. But yeah, Valorg is another option here. I wouldn't recommend any other monster set because then you just really won't be able to kill anybody. All right, getting into our jewelry and our mythic of choice, we are using the Death of the Feet mythic, and I'm using 2 infused, 1 swift with recovery. I'm using Death of the Feet to make up for the stats we lose for using that food that we're using. But you could 100% use the new mythic that came out this patch, which is Sane Seducer. I've actually been experimenting with it. It actually hits pretty hard. It's probably the hardest hitting mythic in the game currently. But you do sacrifice a lot to use that because you have to, put a lot more points in the health to get your health at a good point. So I've just been using Death of the Feet, and it's honestly been getting the job done. Hits pretty hard. It also just helps our overall sustain and survivability. If you want more damage, you can 100% go with another infused, jewelry or necklace. But I found that I honestly didn't need as much damage, especially with Gerals. I was better off having a little bit more speed and a little bit more recovery. All right, getting into the skills, we are using Blast Bones. This is pretty much our most important skill on this, because this is gonna apply the major defile, but also is going to do the disease damage, which applies minor defile. So you get major and minor defile to stack on top of Gerals, to stack on top of the major cowardice from Kin Marcher. So you're debuffing the hell out of people. Using Executioner Rally for our brutality buff and burst heal. We're using Wrecking Blow here. I found Wrecking Blow to be a little bit better than Dswing. Just because it gives us that major berserk, which helps really carry our damage, since we don't have a lot of damage on this build. But with the major berserk, it does hit. The only thing is that you don't really have a reliable stun. We are using Summoner's Armor, and we're using Dawnbreaker for our main stun. You could use the other more for Summoner Armor, the pull, but when you're getting Zerg down, you don't want people getting pulled to you. You could also use Swarming Scion here. If you're using Swarming Scion, I encourage you to change the Wrecking Blow to Dswing, which I'll show you clips of both playstyles. The Swarming Scion hits really hard, increases your max dam and max mag by 10k, which is a shit ton of damage you're going to do, and it's also just doing nice damage. Our back bar, we have Race Against Time on our back bar. Then we have Structured Entropy. This is the heal morph of Entropy. Basically, this is what's going to keep our Geral stacks on. It is really nice against Nightblades because it keeps them out of stealth. So like any gank blade that doesn't kill you and you put that on them, they are in for it. They are in for a time of their life, because literally they can't heal and they can't run. It's so funny. We're using Vigor, and then we're using the new Scribe burst heal, which is called Healing Soul. This is the best burst heal in the game. Gives you 1000 mag and stand back for using it, and then you get major vitality from using it. So basically, this is going to be how we negate a lot of the negative effects that Geral does on us. And yeah, it's really nice. Spirit Guardian for the 10% reduced damage, and also just extra recovery, and then Spell Wall. Spell Wall, in my opinion, is the best backbar ult in the game. It's also, you can use it offensively as well. A lot of Nightblades are on you, or people are just free casting on you. You can use that and go offensive with it, and get out of jail. You could 100% use Sigic Order for the minor protection, but I found the Spell Wall to be a lot better than the Temporal Guard after doing a lot of testing, because it just, because you can use it offensively as well. So for our race, we are Imperial. I found Imperial to be the best race for Necro because it helps with our stam and our max sustain, and also helps with our max health bonus because we don't get any health from our food. So Necro has a nice little health passive, so stacking Imperial with this nice health passive makes it to where we don't really need the max health food from, or the max health from the food. Also, a lot of people try to you can 100% go dark elf or orc, but I just found Imperial to be better overall when it comes to 1vxing. You know, now if you're like dueling, because this could definitely be a good 1v1 build, you can probably go dark elf and stuff like that. But for overall 1vx, I think Imperial is better, in my opinion. So getting into the CP, in our blue tree, we have 3 defensive CP and 1 offensive CP. We have Focus Mending for those heals to help negate the Geral stacks on us. We have Master at Arms as our only offensive CP. Then we have Ironclad and Resilience. Now you could use Ironclad Duelist rebuff, but I found Ironclad and Resilience to just be a lot better because you need that extra crit resist, and it really just helps against those Nightblades and stuff like that. The Duelist rebuff is going to help you against like dots and stuff like that, but I just found the Ironclad to be, or the Resilience to be better. As far as our red CP, I do have Celerity, I have Survival, Instincts, Pain's Refugee, and Sustained by Suffering. So a lot of people are wondering why, why are you using, you're on a cleanse build, why are you using Pain's Refugee? Well, Pain's Refugee is really nice because we do have Geral stacks on us, so it helps because we always have, those effects can't be cleansed, so you're always going to have those negative effects on you and stuff like that. So, and yeah, and also I want to show you guys how to proc the Gerals and how to, how the skill setup will work and how my stats look like with my everything fully proc. So, all right, so as you can see on my back bar here, basically when you put the structure entropy on somebody, you can see the little stack building up on that person. That is the healing debuff. It stacks all the way up to 35, and it's really nice. You could get some add-ons like the Shrindor add-on to see which debuffs is on that target, like right there, that's major cowardice, so that person's healing is reduced by a shit ton. Heal this little zombie right here, but yeah, it's really nice, and you can put that structure entropy on multiple people at once. So that you're getting that little nice healing received from everybody, especially if you use the heal soul. You're getting extra healing from the major vitality, so you have a lot of healing in 1vx scenario. So this is my stats when Death Deal is fully procced. We're sitting at 32k, almost 33k health, 26k stam, and we have a shit ton of recovery. And I found this to be plenty enough damage to kill folks and plenty enough recovery to X. And you need a lot of recovery when you're Xing because, that's the thing about Necro. I mean, you're either like, if you're bursting people, if you have enough damage to burst somebody, you basically have to give up everything, like your sustain, like your tankiness, stuff like that. And, other classes like a Nightblade can get away with that. They can give up everything because they just have really good in class sustain and in class like tankiness, stuff like that, but Necro does not, so you have to get your sustain through other means. So a lot of times you'll see me run stage 4 just for that the unnatural movement passive, and also coming out of stealth, you get 300 extra weapon damage, which I come out of stealth a lot on this build because a lot of times when I'm getting Zerg down, if you're not running stage 4, bro, you're just gonna get sweated down. Like these Zergs will chase you across the whole entire map. Like you kind of have to, otherwise you're just gonna be constantly respawning, man. So, but anyways, that is going to do it for the build. Now we're going to get into some gameplay. Hope you guys enjoyed.